Darran, are you gonna start,
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest issue of Retro Gamer. I'm Darran Jones,
I'm Drew Sleep.
and this is Mario.
It's a Mario on our cover.
It's a him Mario.
Why don't you tell us a bit about Mario, Darran?
My first encounter with Mario was in Boots. You know, Boots?
Boots is still going,
Yeah.
yeah.
And but a long time ago, they used to sell video games.
Oh, okay.
And I used to have consoles, and they had a Mario, Super Mario Brothers on the NES in there. So I'd always go on there and play it. I mean, Mario's probably got more impact for you, well, this version of Mario, for you than for me. So what was your first memories of Mario?
Well, I started on Mario All-Stars on the SNES,
Mm-hmm.
but then not long after the Super Nintendo came out, a friend down the cul-de-sac had it. I played it and it literally blew my mind because I was still on Mega Drive back then, and I saw it and I was like... The controls were just perfect. The camera, it was like the perfect introduction into 3D for me. My parents went home and they were like, I was like, I want this. And they were like, oh no, Drew wants to siphon our money off. So, you falling asleep.
Are you right, Dan?
You're right though. I mean, I'm joking, but you're right. I mean, 3D games obviously existed when I was a kid,
Yeah.
but they were in typically two colours and they moved like this. And you have things like Driller and that, and they were massively groundbreaking games. But obviously, when you look at them now, you realise that they were moving at like 2-3 frames a second.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And like you said, this was just there was literally nothing like it. And from the moment you could interact and pull his face and play around with his nose and everything until you go into the actual world, and the control you had of him was just absolutely astonishing. And that's why he's our cover star.
Let's crack on with the issue, I guess.
Because we've wasted far too much time talking about that.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about this then.
Plug-in and play machines, all the rage now, eh?
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting one, and we've been criticised for why you're not covering things like this when you've covered the NES one. I think what's important with the NES one is, apart from the fact that it's not exactly the same, is it? Because these ones have been going for a while, but they've always been third-party licensed, haven't they?
Yeah.
Is it 80 games which does this in the Mega Drive ones?
Yeah, 80 games.
And then there was the Neo Geo one, and they've always been licensed. They've never actually been made by the actual company. And regardless of what you say about Nintendo, whether like, oh yeah, Nintendo are rubbish, they make all the same games, or oh, I'm not paying 30 games when there's only there's loads and I can put them on a pirate cartridge. But the thing to remember is that Nintendo do make good solid things, and that's one of the things that everyone's excited about. It just looks like a genuinely great little product. Yes, it could do with maybe 60 games in it, but yes, it could do with a cartridge slot. But what there? I mean, yeah. You're excited about game one, aren't you?
I think more for me, it's like, the love's there. I know, obviously, like it's like a love for your own child with Nintendo, though. It's not like they've just cast it away to someone else to go make. No, this is like, it looks stupidly authentic.
Yeah, exactly. Having said that, though, the flashbacks have always been pretty solid, and this one does look cool, and it's the first time that they've introduced a handheld version.
Yeah.
So we're quite excited about that. Midwinter, it was a 16-bit, 8-bit. Again, this is one of the first games to have like proper 3D polygons and everything else, and they're making a comic book series.
Yep.
Which, didn't you say it's coming out in actual physical form as opposed to just
I believe
digital?
So. We were trying to get into our vault, so watch that space.
So that's nice. Oh, this is quite cool as well. So we'll quickly mention this.
No, it's Mr. Biffo.
We've got a new columnist, Mr. Biffo. You probably remember him if you're really old, because he used to do something called Digitizer, which was on, was it Channel 4? Or Teletext?
You're talking to an infant child here.
Oh, yeah. Were you even born when Teletext was a thing?
My brother used to watch the scores on Teletext.
So anyway, basically what it was it was kind of like it was a digital magazine, and Paul Rose, Mr. Biffo, was basically in charge of it. And he's currently doing a great website called Digitizer 2000, which is full of all the crazy irrelevant stuff you used to get on Digitizer. And he's also working for Retro Gamer. Some cool new stuff. What's that?
That's 8-bit, Darran.
But more importantly, what's that?
It's the collector's corner.
And why's the collector's corner back?
Because we thought, you know what? We love Collector's Corner. Why haven't we put it in the mag recently? And then we just...
What were all the readers saying?
Where's the Collector's Corner, Drew? Where is it?
They were literally asking him. So it's back. So there
Yeah,
you go.
there you
That's
go.
the power. That's the power of your voice.
Didn't even notice it had gone.
That's because you don't read the mag, Deeble. We tell you it's a really good mag, but you don't read it. So, cover feature.
More Mario.
We've kind of covered this, haven't we? So
The only thing's worth saying is that we've literally interviewed literally every single person on the planet.
Everyone?
Every single relevant developer from Rare.
Everyone?
Everyone. Chris
Greg
Sutherland.
Mails?
Greg Mails is in it.
Chris Sutherland?
Chris Sutherland's in it. Chris Sutherland's there.
Chris Seaver?
Chris Seaver's there. And his little pipe that he's smoking.
So what you're saying is we've covered everybody important
Yeah.
about 3D games is in this feature.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
it's pretty good.
That's pretty
Well
good.
done, us.
That's pretty damn good. Yeah, there he is. Greg Mails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because sometimes you do these features and you're doing your fishing for them and some people don't come back and then you're like, oh, you know, how are we going to get this to work? And we were speaking to a couple of guys. Greg Mails kindly took out some time to basically do it. And then we had a whole deluge of other guys who wanted to get involved. So thank you all, everyone. We
love
really
you.
do appreciate it. And we do indeed love them all.
Platonically.
I'll probably talk about this one because it's old and 8-bit.
Yeah, but it's old and 8-bit.
Marauder, it's basically a top-down shooter. It's styled like an arcade game, although I don't recall that it's actually theoretically based on a proper arcade game. But you're a little car driving around, shooting loads of things. It's really cool. It didn't do as well as some of Houston's other stuff, even like Iridium and Nebulous, but it's really cool and I like it.
I love this spread because it's so colourful.
It's just sometimes things just make you happy, don't they?
And Ninja Baseball Batman. It's literally a Ninja Baseball Batman, but not a Ninja Baseball Batman, a Ninja Baseball Batman. So it's a man with a bat, basically.
Yeah.
It's not Batman.
No, it's not
No,
Batman.
it's not Batman.
It's a
I'm
bat-
Batman.
Not interested.
It's a bat.
Yeah, it's a
Man.
Batman. The Hit Squad. Now, this is quite interesting because there was loads and 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 carrying on budget games released by all sorts of publishers back in the 8-bit days. And what you would typically do is you sell your game for full price and then you'd have another bite of the cherry with like a $1.99, $2.99 game. Some companies, obviously like Codemasters and that, and Mastertronic, they basically just predominantly did budget anyway. Now, what's interesting about the Hit Squad is that it not only focused on quality, so most of the stuff on it is very, very good, and Ocean kind of got involved with various other publishers as well to ensure that happened. But it's got numbers on it.
And as a collector, Darran, what makes you want to collect things?
It's got numbers on it, Drew.
Yeah, so, but also, we've actually put a checklist of all the Hit Squad games here. Now,
And they're all numbered, Drew.
they're all there. Look, you can check them off, Darran. Do you want to get some?
Do you know something? I have been looking at it and thinking, you know what? They look nice on my shelves. However, I have to be strong. I've got too many things
much
going
stuff
on.
going on, haven't you?
Top 5 Darran Jones games on the hit list. Go.
Well, that I'm after at the moment.
go.
Christ.
What have you done?
PS Vita stuff. So, Yomawari,
Is that
Persona
PS
Dancing All
Vita?
Night. PS Vita, yeah.
It's not retro.
Pardon?
It's not retro.
You didn't. You told me what I'm collecting at the moment. I'm collecting
Shit
PS
about that. I'm
Vita.
talking about the magazine.
So, what retro stuff am I
On that
after?
hit list, top 5.
What's
right.
your favourite? I
Well, I'll
guess?
tell you,
Well, actually, we've
he's
got-
not very clear, is he?
Yeah.
Well, according to this feature, it's Arkanoid, Bubble Bubble, Head Over Heels, International Karate Plus, and Chase XQ. And you know what? I'd agree with that.
We've just ruined the feature now.
Have you played Double Dragon?
I have played Double Dragon.
What did you
And
think of it?
I've actually been in this situation where I got to the end with a friend and he beat the shit out of me.
Oh, right.
With a Ninja Baseball Batman.
I thought you were going to say that you've actually been in a situation where your brother beat you up with a baseball bat because we've
yeah.
all been there, haven't we?
You know, yeah, I wanted to play the SNES and he wouldn't let me, so he just picked up a baseball bat and knocked my teeth out.
Story of 4. This was I don't know if you played it, but
I didn't actually.
if you had a Mega Drive like me at the time, although I did have a SNES as well afterwards, but if you only could have a Mega Drive, because back in the days when it was the 90s and people they didn't have the I didn't have the disposable income I have now. You either had one console or the other, or you had one home computer or a console. You rarely had both. And the Story of 4 was basically Sega's answer to The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's an action RPG. One of the things is cool. It's got these different helper guys which help you, and it's a bit like Metroid, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way. It's also really colourful, which is what drew me to it.
Yeah. It's
some of the
it
sprite
looks
art and
fantastic.
animation is lovely.
It's not as well known as Legend of Zelda, but it's a great game and well worth playing. As is the Tex Murphy series, which
FMV fans, get on board. You know.
This should have been 6 pages.
Yeah, it should have been actually. It's the entire series of Tex Murphy, you see, including even like the spin-off stuff like the books and the radio.
So
series.
we will return to this because Aaron Connors, I
Yeah,
can't remember
right.
his name, so I had to look. But yeah, he's been involved with the series for years. He had some fascinating anecdotes, so
Yeah.
we definitely want to go back to it.
Chase the Express. Why don't you explain
No,
it?
stop the Express. Chase the Express is a terrible game, but this is a really good game. But whenever I talk about this game, I call it Chase the Express and nobody knows what I'm on about. But it's a really, really good Spectrum game. It's by Hudson Soft and it's definitely worth playing. And these games are definitely worth playing as well, aren't they?
Yep. From YouTuber Zypho.
Yeah, so check out his channel if you've not seen it. iToy.
iToy was good. I used to clean windows figuratively, like yeah, I used to be just like that. But then you could cheat, like by going up, like you'd do this. You'd just go straight up to the thing and go like, you'd rub it,
Right.
and then it would just get the high
Do you know,
score.
I don't think I ever tried doing that.
You love cheating, right?
I do love
You
cheating.
love winning anyway.
Cheating's fun. Beyond Games, they made
Beyond
games. Yeah.
Actually, the interesting thing I found about them was that they were located on the same grounds as the owner had a bar, and he would go down with his Lynxes and go to the patrons want to play my Lynx, and that's how he used to like sort of play test his games.
And then didn't the actual people who worked in the bar, which he owned,
Yeah.
although ironically he wasn't old enough to drink there at the time,
Yeah,
then they just basically went to become...
this publisher, which
I mean,
is still going today.
That's crazy, isn't it? You could have like Bouncer,
Yeah.
editor at Retro Gamer.
Did you
You
fancy
could
yourself
have-
as a bouncer? Do
you
you want to
could
stand
have-
outside in the cold?
No, I don't actually. Yeah, no, forget that. That's a terrible idea. But it's a really interesting story, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
In
is.
that basically he found all these staff at his bar, and they seamlessly made the jump from pouring pints or punching heads to production to games production.
Yeah. Okay.
Super Scramble Simulator.
This is
It's-
another simulator.
Yeah, although not one by Codemasters,
No.
which is interesting.
Other people did them.
And
Yeah.
this was who?
I have no idea.
I
should
think
know.
it was Gremlin.
It's before my time.
Developer ARP Software, who they did it for Gremlin. So there you go, Gremlin graphics. It's kind of like, do you remember the? Right, you don't remember, but have you heard of the Kickstart games?
Yeah, but the better analog Luke told me about was like it's like the Trials games.
Yeah, that makes more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
Like
you know what
on
they are.
Xbox 360 for you infants who are watching.
So the idea was that one of the things with Kickstart is that you have your tiny little motorbike, and depending on how you like raise up your back and everything, you have to negotiate all the ground. And they've kind of done that with this, but obviously everything's much bigger and more impressive, and the actual level of the bike has to be taken into account as well with this stuff down the bottom. It's not just window dressing.
Ah, Frostbite. This is something that you liked.
Yeah. I used to play this around my friends all the time. We just played as Atari 2600, and I used to love this. So it's always cool when you can basically speak to a developer and basically say, "Hey, I liked your game. Can I ask you some questions about
You
it?"
have that power now as
And-
editor of Retro Gamer. You can be like, oh, I feel like
But
talking about Frostbite.
but it's cool though that after, I mean, how long have I been doing this now? 14 years. That you still get almost giddy that this is so cool. This guy whose game I used to love, he's talking to me about this game, and then you get to obviously share that with the readership. So it's a really cool, interesting take on Frogger. And instead of a frog crossing roads, you're basically a little guy jumping across ice floes, and as you jump across to the different flows, you're building your igloo.
Frostbite Bailey, is it?
Yeah, that's right, Frostbite Bailey. And yeah, it's just brilliant. I wasted loads and loads of hours playing it.
Is that where the Frostbite engine came from, yeah?
No.
Do you know
Did
something?
what?
I was going to humour him and say that it was because he probably wouldn't know. He'd probably think I was serious.
What is the Frostbite engine, do you even know?
It's like engine does like snowflakes and stuff, doesn't it?
And who makes it?
Yeah.
Anyway, you know it's October now, and it's spooky season, so it's the House of the Dead.
Oh, I thought you was going to do your really creepy voice that you did on the last video.
I'm not a performing monkey.
Oh.
You are a little bit though.
Shut up,
No, he's
Evil.
not.
Do the voice.
We enter the House of the Dead.
It's a great ultimate guide, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell us about this, because this is cool.
So in the game, you can go to different branching paths, and like depending on if you want to save a scientist or let them die, you go down like to the sewers to go check the body or whatever. So Nick rigorously played House of the Dead multiple times, and we mapped it all out. And if you ever want to play House of the Dead and go, actually, I want to go through the waterway, open up your copy of Retro Gamer, and we've done it for you.
And a lot of this is quite new to me, because when I used to play it, I was happy to let people die. Because let's face it, if you're in a place which has overridden my zombies, you should have hightailed it a long time ago. So you deserve everything you get.
Are you like Robert Carlyle at the start of 20 weeks later? Just leave your wife. Just like, oh, see ya. Bye. We had a good run.
I would never do that. I would do that.
So GameCube, yeah, that's new. Ooh, what?
That is new, isn't it? 15 years old.
Yeah.
So what? You'd have been 1 when it came out?
Yeah, no, -3 actually. Funnily enough, yeah, I actually played this straight from my womb. So
Your womb.
my own mother's. Oh god, this has gone a dark turn.
The GameCube. Some call it one of the last traditional consoles because it didn't care about having all the media add-ons and everything else.
No.
Unless of course you had the Panasonic Q.
Oh yeah.
Which was Japanese only, but it's just a fantastic console, isn't it?
It's quite collectible now as well. It's like the first one of that generation to be properly sort of, people are turning their eye towards it, started buying it up a bit more. Like You Can Talk, you collected GameCube games for a bit, right?
I did, and I stopped collecting when I realised that I was buying stuff for a lot of money which I had no interest in playing. So I got rid of a few of the games, but I've kept most of the good ones, which coincidentally I've featured in here. Yeah, it's a great article. It looks at the entire, how it did, how it eventually finished in 3rd place, why that might have been. It looks at all the different peripherals, obviously all the best games.
Bongos are the best.
Yep, bongos are the best. And speaking of Kim Justice, this is her brand new feature.
Yeah.
And it's it's been really difficult, this one, hasn't it? And this is an interview with Glenn Corpse. And obviously because of the House of the Dead feature, we were kind of doing them back to back.
Oh yeah.
So we were really trying to make sure that we didn't misspell his name. But he's a fascinating guy. He's been working on he worked with Bullfrog, didn't he?
And Peter Molyneux.
Didn't he start off as a what did he start off as a art?
It might have been an artist,
designer or
but
something.
he learned all his coding from Peter, and I think he eventually was like, I can't remember, he was like really high up in Bullfrog by the end of it.
He had many different managerial hats while he was there, wasn't he? And he was involved in a hell of a lot of amazing games. He's making a new game at the moment, which looks pretty cool. It's called
Fat Owl with a Jetpack.
Mac. So is it iOS as well, or?
I have no idea actually, but I can tell you though, it features a fat owl with a jetpack.
And but yeah, it looks at his entire career. He's somebody that I've been hoping to get in the mag for a while, so it's great to see him finally in there. And we'll quickly go on to this is good.
Pac-Man on steroids.
Pac-Man on steroids. We've got the remake of Master of Orion, which is good. We've got the remake of Resident Evil 4, which is okay, and we've got Metroid Prime Federation Force,
Let's talk about that.
It's a good little shooter. It's just not a proper. I know you wanted a proper Metroid Prime game,
I know,
but it's fine.
It plays like Hunters though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people have been like missing out on the actual reviews. Yeah, it is fun, but yeah, it's not a proper Metroid game. The homebrew, as per usual, there's some really cool stuff in there, including an alternate take on Fantasy World Dizzy.
Get ready to blow your mind. Wow!
I mean, Resin VR. I mean, we've been playing VR today, and I nearly fell off my chair.
It was the best thing I've literally seen in my life.
Ah. I don't like roller coasters. All I keep on thinking is that basically this is going to be solid and incredible.
I've got a
in
feeling
virtual reality.
that I'm going to turn up to work one day and you're just going to be underneath the desk with a VR headset on, just rocking backwards and forward going, this is the future.
It's like knowing how obviously VR works and knowing what this game is and knowing that I never need to do anything else but just have this game in my life.
Nothing else.
Nothing else would matter. The
This
wife,
is-
the children, the house.
The mag?
Well, I need the house
Me?
because I need, I guess, something to keep it all in. But it's just astonishing, and I'm so excited. So basically, this is a look back at the original game.
Oh yeah, we talk about Res. Not the new, not the new one.
We might talk a little bit about the new one,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're predominantly talking about the original Dreamcast PS2 game that came out. I want to say 2001.
Yeah, it was early PS2 era. I remember picking.
But
it
it's a
up.
classic on-rail shooter, and if you've never played it before, please play it because it is amazing. And that's it. And we've
That's
missed the
us.
next month page.
That was the next
That was
one.
the next month page.
It's so mind
We
blowing.
just got excited about
Yeah.
Reds.
So what have we got coming up?
What other stuff we got? We've got Pokemon Red and Blue. We've got a making of one of the biggest handheld games of all time. We got a piece on the Atari 2600 Junior. Panzer Dragoon, the greatest Game Boy games of all time. No, Game Boy Advance games of all time.
Game Boy Advance, yeah.
Oh, Horus. So we finally answered the question, what was Horus?
We still don't know. That's
No,
spoilers.
they're not going to read it now. It's like ever since the early 80s, they've been like, what is Horus?
Well, it's a blob, isn't it?
Well, I was going to say you have to wait until next issue to find out. But now they know I'm lying. Thanks, Drew.
There's your integrity. Gone.
So basically, that's all we've got time for this month. Tune in next month where we'll have some awesome retro gamer stuff. I'm Darran Jones.
I'm still Drew Sleep.
And we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.